So a lot has happened since the last time I posted on this aquarium. This is my new 20-gallon long. My last post was about the old 20-gallon long, which burst open and I lost all my water, and I saved my fish, and now it's a couple weeks later and my fish are gone. The only thing I can figure is the tank didn't cycle like it was aged, but it would make sense that I lost my fish probably because of ammonium poisoning over the course of a few weeks since this new tank was set up. The timing's about right. That'd be pretty much the explanation. Anytime you set up a new tank, it has to cycle. I use some of my old water and old rocks, and I thought I would be okay, but otherwise it's hard for me to know. I mean, the truth is, I'm away, I'm not at home, I can't watch things happen. If I could, I probably would have easily been able to take care of this, but I'm trying to maintain tanks and also be away from home week after week. And so I'm posting this on a Sunday, on a Saturday. Tomorrow, Sunday, I'll be flying out of town again and be gone all week. But in the meantime, this tank has no fish in it for the time being, and but it's gone a month now, and another week or so it should be good for fish again. But I'm really coming to you today because I want to show you something else. That was the one tragedy that happened, but something else happened a week or so ago when I was gone. Yeah, not too long after this particular tragedy happened, something happened to my main display. So let me talk about that. Let's go. So here we go. Here's my main display that you're familiar with. I don't post that often anymore because, to be honest with you, I don't really do much with it, and everybody's seen it. But you can see the brittle star has moved from the other side of the tank, and now he's underneath my frog spawn. He's fun. He comes out a lot whenever you put food in, of course. I don't know why he's out moving around right now. This is kind of unusual. We're catching him on the move. Almost as if he knows he's on film. Crazy as that sounds, because that's ridiculous, but this guy's always hiding, and here he is. I just happened to come over here to talk, and he's out and about. So what happened to this tank? It looks fine. I mean, if you see it, it looks like normal. But a couple weeks ago, I was out of state, and I got a phone call and from my wife, and once again she had tragedy to tell me. She says something from under the tank was smoking, and she didn't know what was going on. Of course, I didn't know what was going on. We talked about it quite a bit, and she thought maybe it was the main pump. I couldn't tell, but what eventually happened was I had her shut down the whole tank because safety first. I wasn't there. So the whole tank got shut down with no power, and I talked her into taking this pump right here, following the cord down, unplugging it, and then plugging it directly into the wall. So I'd have circulation in the main tank, but no longer did I have anything going down to the sump. Power's completely off. And it was that way for the rest of the week because I was going to be gone. That was a call that came like on Tuesday night, and I wasn't getting back till late Friday night. Couldn't do anything till Saturday, which was Saturday a week ago. So the tank has been back up and running for the past week, but it turned out that it wasn't the main pump. It was actually the UV light. So the UV light, I don't know if it broke or whatever, but it began to smoke, and it made sense to me because I had that thing on a timer. It only came on for half a day, and then I let it cool off for half a day and it come back on again. And the smoke happened about the same time, well, at the same time the timer went off, and that was pretty much it. And of course, once I pulled it out, it was you know, easy to tell. So I got the tank back in place and back together again. And a few things I want to tell you about. This has become quite the incredible softy tank. But I made a few changes because if you look over here, my zoanthids are they're just taking over. I mean, I've had them for years. I started out with a rock about the size of a fist, and now it's taken over all of my base rock and all this stuff, and it's just an enormous amount of zoanthids. On the other hand, this rock up here had the Superman growing on it, and it was actually growing and facing the opposite direction, and so I thought I got to do something here. So this is what I did. This rock down here was actually on top, and Superman was the rock underneath it, facing it towards the back. So I pulled this rock off the top, got a new base rock, plugged it in there, and then topped it off now with the monopore, and faced it forward. So I have a nice plate now coming along the top, and then I have this little plug of brain coral off to the side there, the dense center of the video at the moment. So those little changes, little tweaks, you know, are significant to how the tank looks overall. My preference would be to have a lot more white space, a lot more open sand than I currently do. But, you know, the only way to do that now is to get rid of corals. And that's a hard thing to do. One of the things I've talked about in the past that is part of my pet peeve on the hobby is that and I mean the coral keeping hobby, is that we're nowhere near the freshwater community in aquascaping. Boy, if you go on to the forums and online and just look up planted freshwater tanks and aquascaping, you'll see some unbelievably beautiful artistic aquariums of every nature and sort there is out there. So if you go into online and type in reef aquarium aquascaping, you will not get the numerous beautiful artistic aquarium videos. I'm not saying you don't get any. There are some that are out there, but you don't get inundated like you do with the freshwater planted aquascaping, which there's so many of them and just beautiful. And we just have a way to go here with the saltwater reef aquariums. But what happens is when you type in aquascaping on reef aquarium, you get how-tos, how to build, how to put base rock in, how to get live rock, how to put live sand in, how to put together an aquarium, and a little bit about the art. But you don't get a lot of people showing off absolutely stunning aquascapes. Now, that may be quite a bold statement. I'm just saying I'm not saying there isn't any. I'm just saying we still got a ways to go. My tank, I'm looking forward to break it up, get the white space in, do something artistic. I don't believe I have the skills, the artistic, you know, eye like a lot of people may have. But I'm trying, and I do realize that I could do better. But what I love to see is anybody who has some beautiful saltwater aquariums that just speak of a seascape and plenty of white space and plenty of beauty in an artistic way. I would love to see them, post them in the comments and links to them, and I would love to see some of those. Anyway, this tank is starting to become a kind of an incredible softy tank, and if I wasn't gone so much, I have the lights and everything now, I would try to do a little bit up my game on the water quality, and maybe even get some more hard coral in here. But in the meantime, I'm very happy with it, and just wanted to post some of my thoughts, what's going on, and some of the everyday life of a long-term aquarium that's been up 15 years or more. And it was good talking to you again, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.